So, yeah.
You say let us meditate on the most auspicious form of Savitra.
Savitra. Most auspicious form of Savitra. Savitra is a sun god. Savitra is the father of Savitri. Rather, Savitri is the daughter of Savitra. Savitra is the sun god. So, although in English Savitra is written Savitri, the tendency is to pronounce it as Savitri. But grammatically, that is not correct. Savitri, no, it is Savitra. The meditation is on the sun god. Meditation on, and it is he who is going to illumine us with his light. Yeah. Yeah. Savitra. The original Sanskrit is Savitra. Tat Savitur Varam Rupam. Sorry. Savitra. I was reciting Vishwamitra's mantra. See, it is equivalent to that Vishwamitra's mantra also, with a difference. See. Let us meditate. Tat Savitur Varam Rupam. Tat Savitur. Tat is that. Savitra. Rupam Varam. Rupam is form. Varam auspicious form. Varam Rupam. So that is the mantra. Varam. Now basically it is a meditation on the form of Savitra. The whole emphasis is on the form of Savitra. And form means it is significant in the sense that it is that which gets connected with the body, with the physical. So it is the whole concentration is now on the physical. It is that physical form should illumine us. It is not his mind, his other thing and all that thing, but the physical form, you see. That is total meditation, you see. And now that we have raised this point, let us quickly see this beautiful passage in the vision and the boon. The boon Ashwapati gets from the Divine Mother. Ashwapati has approached the Divine Mother and she is granting him the boon. And she says, he prays, you have to come down and take the mortal birth. Unless you take the mortal birth, there is no solution for this creation. It is necessary that you take the mortal birth. And in the beginning, she argues this way, that way and all that. But Ashwapati persuades her, no, it is necessary that you come down here. And then she grants him the boon. The boon is, O strong foreigner, I have heard thy cry. His prayer, his supplication. She says, I have heard your prayer, cry. Strong foreigner, he is in the forefront of this entire creation. Strong, very strongly willed person. One shall descend and break the iron law. One. Obviously, she doesn't say who that one, but it is understood that it is she herself who will descend. That one stands for herself, the divine. Now, why she says that one shall descend? Obviously, it cannot be personified at this point. She becomes a person when she takes birth. Until then, she is up there, one. And it is she who will come and then descend. One shall descend. That one is that way very significant. Descend and break the iron law. The iron law here is, of course, in the context of death. Iron law is in the context of death. L is capital also. Now, basically, This is another way of describing D capital, death. Iron law, the law of death. In Sanskrit, the word for death is yama. 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 Yama means law. Yama means law. So there is, yeah, it means law. Yeah. So that is why I has put law here. You see. It is directly referring to Yama in that sense. You see. Iron law. He is firm, he is adamant, he will not depart from the work which he has to do here. Now, in one place the mother says, death is a habit. We keep on dying as a matter of habit, you see. Death is a habit. But then she says that the habit can be broken. Habit can be changed. And that is that law. Law is there, but law can be broken, law can be changed. Only one who is stronger than that law, it is he who can break the law, not anybody else. So she says, one shall design and break the iron law. She has to be definitely stronger than Yama. So already the power with which she will come is put in this particular utterance itself. She will break the iron law. There is no doubt about that, you see. There is no ambiguity about it. It is for that purpose. And then he says, one shall descend and break the iron law, change nature's doom by the lone spirit's power. Again, see, it is the same connotation. Nature's law, habit. It's a habit of nature to die, to be ignorant or whatever it is. It has to be changed. It has got to be changed. Change nature's doom by the lone spirit's power. Spirit's power, it is she who will come. She will come as the power of the spirit, and she will break that nature's habit. Now, from this point onward, starts the description of the one who will come. She will, her work is defined. She will break the iron law. She will change the nature's law, nature's rule. And then what will be she? She will have a limitless mind that can contain the world. That is the vastness of her mind. A limitless mind that can contain the world. A sweet and violent heart of ardent calm, moved with the passion of the God shall come. Moved with the passion of the God shall come. So, in 3 lines she has described her mind and her heart. Her mind will be such that it will contain the whole world. And her heart will move with the passions of the gods. Passions, the urge, the dynamism with which they would like to work in this creation, it is in that manner she will do things here. The way the gods, the white gods will do things here. Moved with the passions of the God shall come. All mights and greatnesses will join in her. Now, by the way, in the previous line, ardent calms, he uses calms, plural. Now, calm has different qualities, different contexts. The calm of knowledge, the calm of love, the calm of joy, the calm of beauty, the calm of power. You see, there are different qualities. So all those calms will come when she comes here down. Ardent, positive, you see. Calms, moved with the passion to the God shall come. All mights and greatnesses shall join in her. Shall join in her. Well, actually she is like that. She is all those greatnesses. She is all those mights. Then which question of her joining? They will join in her because she is going to take human birth. Up there, they are already there. Her basic qualities, intrinsic qualities, up there, they are always there. But when she comes here, then they will come and join her in the mortal birth. All might and greatness shall join in her. Beauty shall walk celestial on the earth. That is how she will walk here in this world. Delight shall sleep in the cloud net of her hair. So hair is a kind of a nest, and in that nest, like a bird, delight will come and sleep there. See. In fact, he says, beauty, delight shall sleep in the cloud net of her hair, and in her body, as on his homing tree, immortal love shall beat his glorious wings. He will come and take rest in that nest, you see, love, immortal love. Well, that is already the invitation of Satyavan that he will come. He will find her, as we had seen earlier some time ago, he will find her as his perfect shrine. Love's perfect shrine. Savitri is love's perfect shrine. So she will go and he will go and dwell in that perfect shrine, which is Savitri. Love shall beat his glorious wings. A music of grievous things shall weave a charm. So every kind of charm. And music, it is that which will make all those things there. The harps of the perfect shall attune her voice. The perfect is a plural. All of them, the way in which they will play harp, they will make her voice tuned with their harp. You see. It means there will be a perfection in her voice, in the speaking, in the music. The strains of heaven shall murmur in her love. So, what a description. As she will move, the strains will murmur in her love. Her lips shall be the honeycombs of God. All the sweetness will be there in her lips, you see. Her lips shall be the honeycombs of God. Her limbs is golden jars of ecstasy. From those jars, she will pour ecstasy. From those jars. Her breast, the raptured flowers of paradise. Now, see, this is a sentence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines, and earlier also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2 sentences, he is describing her physical form. Basically, this is a description pertaining to her physical mind. He has disposed of in 1 line. Her mind will contain the world. Finished. Mind is over. Her spirit, he has already. See, the whole description follows a sequence. First starts with the spirit, then mind, then heart, now the physical. The elaborate description here is pertaining to the physical form. The way in which Savitri, her sweetness, her joy, her lips, her breast, her limbs, everything he is describing in full details here, you see. Let us read again. All mights and greatnesses shall join in her. Beauty shall walk celestial on the earth. Delight shall sleep in the cloud net of her hair, and in her body as on his homing tree. Immortal love shall beat his glorious wings. A music of grievous things shall weave her charm. The hearts of the perfect shall attune her voice. The strains of heaven shall murmur in her love. Her lips shall be the honeycombs of God. Her limbs his golden jars of ecstasy. Her breast the raptured flowers of paradise. So this is the full description of her form, of the physical form, you see. Then he goes to other quality. She shall bear wisdom in her voiceless bosom. It is not you. She will carry the wisdom in her. Strength shall be with her like a conqueror's sword. So she will be defeatless. When she comes here, she will come with the sword of a conqueror, which nobody can defeat. Strength shall be with her like a conqueror's sword, and from her eyes the eternal bliss shall gaze. This will be the quality of her eyes. The eternal will look through her eyes on this entire creation, whole thing. Now this is the description pertaining to qualities of Savitri, her wisdom, her strength, her bliss. These are the things which will come, with which she will come down here. Then she says the operative sentence. Yes, she will come. What will she do? She has, of course, already told that she will break the iron law. But now there is a little elaboration. A seed shall be sown in death's tremendous hour. A branch of heaven transplant to human soil. Nature shall overleap her mortal step. Fate shall be changed by an unchanging will. She will have the will which no fate can shake. It will be unshakable will. Fate cannot have any effect at all on her will. Fate shall be changed by an unchanging will. Will, that is the important thing. Now, will in Sanskrit is a more powerful word. Sankalpa. What she determines to do, that shall be done. That is what is meant by Sankalpa in Sanskrit. The English rendering is will here. Yes, I determine that and it will happen. And fate cannot come and intervene in the execution of her will. It will be carried out. Now, these are exactly 24 lines. From O strong forerunner till fate shall be changed by an unchanging will. Exactly 24 lines. Shavendra was not counting number of lines, but it happens. 24 lines, our Gayatri Mantra, Tat Savitur Varam Rupam Jyoti Parasya Dhimahi Yanna Satyena Deepai. It has exactly 24 syllables. 24 syllables. In fact, Gayatri Chanda, Gayatri meter in Sanskrit consists of 24 syllables. And 24 syllables are divided into two segments. First is 16 and the other half is 8. Tat Savitur Varam Rupam Jyoti Parasya Dhimahi 16. Yanna Satyena Deepayet 8. Yanna Satyena Deepayet 8. So 16 plus 8, 24 syllables. And here exactly we have got 24 lines. As if each syllable corresponds to one line here in Savitri, you see. So this is in a way our complete Gayatri Mantra. If you want to really recite the Gayatri Mantra, these are the 24 lines, you see. What we chant in Sanskrit, we should chant this also, you see, basically. Pardon me? Yeah. The music, exactly. Wonderful. Yeah. No, it should be done. Yeah. I agree with you. In fact, that is one of the most wonderful things that can happen if you compose music for that. No, I think we should try. We should try that musically. Now, there are a couple of more points. Now that we are discussing this one, let us discuss a couple of more points. See, 24 syllables in the Gayatri Mantra. Tat Savitur Varam Rupam Jyoti Parasya Dhimahi Yanna Satyena Deepayet. 8. Here we have got 24 lines. Savitri has 24,000 lines. Whole book, approximately 24,000 lines. These are not coincidences, they happen. I mean, in terms of exact numbers, maybe 23,813, but it is 24,000 lines, basically. 24 lines, 24 lines here, 24 syllables there, 24,000 lines there. So that is the nature of Gayatri Mantra here. In terms of Gayatri Chanda, Gayatri meter, it is all present here in this passage. Now, there are certain, in my opinion, significant details. If you see this entire description, the maximum number of lines which are devoted here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lines out of 24, 11 lines are pertaining to her physical description, Savitri's physical description. The rest is mind, spirit, heart, her work, and that kind of a thing. But her physical form is occupying major part of the description. Yeah. That is why we could say that this is the description of Varam Rupam, her auspicious form. What is her auspicious form? This is the auspicious form. This is the auspicious form, the physical form here. This is the full Varam Rupam, auspicious form of Savitri. This is our line, these two sentences rather. Now, which is very important in the case of the Gayatri Mantra, Treamendous Gayatri Mantra. Varam, Rupam, the entire thrust is on that. Here again that has come out in the same manner, this one. Because, sort of natural, Treamendous' entire thrust is on the physical form, physical transformation, body transformation. The whole thrust is on the physical. It is that physical form which should become beautiful. It should become transformed. Transformation is the main theme in his Yoga Tapasya. Treamendous' Yoga Tapasya essentially is towards transformation. And that kind of gets reflected here as well as in his Sanskrit Gayatri Mantra. Varam Rupam. He says, he wants Varam Rupam, auspicious form. I want that auspicious form, beautiful form, happy form. It gets automatically established here. Varam Rupam. Now, there is something significant also here. A seed shall be sown in death's tremendous hour. Last sentence, 91.9, first line. A seed shall be sown in death's tremendous hour. In other words, death's tremendous hour is already specified in the boon. Death's tremendous hour must arrive. Without that arrival, the seed cannot be sown. This hour must arrive. And that is exactly what we have got right in the beginning. This was the day when Satyavan must die. Must die. It is when that day takes place, the seed is sown. The seed is sown at that particular moment. So, in other words, the death of Satyavan is the beginning of a new creation. Seed sprouting, new life is coming out. New life is coming out. That is the meaning of Satyavan's death. So, death's tremendous hour is important.
What did she do, for example, then, I mean, especially in Treamendous and her.
Pardon me?
What happened then in reality? I mean, this is
that's important.
But then Treamendous, he left his body.
As far as the epic is concerned, everything is knitted, tied up together. The boon itself contains the presence of death's hour. It is a part of the boon. So it is something which is marvelous, something very desirable, and therefore Satyavan must die. If the seed has to be sown. In the beginning of the life.
We have two avatars
who
left their body, and they had, And there was death's tremendous hour. What
Yeah,
happened there?
yeah. That's a good point. Now let me before I come to that, let me just
That's interesting.
be not too enthusiastic in the in the sense that death's tremendous hour could, in the general literary sense, could mean yes, death will have its power. She is coming with a conqueror's sword. So, in other words, death and conqueror's sword, they are pitched against each other already here. If you see from the point of view of the text, they are coming together, it has to happen. Otherwise, what for the conqueror's sword?
Exactly.
What for? So, who is the enemy? Death here. And he is going to be there in all his mightiness, in all his power. And yet, she is going to wield the conqueror's weapon, the winning weapon. She is going to have that in her hands. So there is no question. So here, death could simply mean the figure death, embodied nothingness, as ever the cause of death is same. Or here, as he said earlier, the iron law. She is going to break the iron law with that sword. And the iron law would get connected with death, which is Yama, in that sense directly. So, from the point of view of pure text, this is how you would say. Now, in the context of the whole book, that this tremendous hour arrives in the death of Satyavan. One summer noon, he is going to die under the tree, and at that time, this seed will be sown. That is what this line would mean in the context of this one. But now, your question, when is that this tremendous hour going to arrive? Has it already arrived? Or it is just poetry? It is not poetry at all. It has a sudden autobiographical element in it. This tremendous hour arrived at 1:25 a.m. 5th December 1950. That is the tremendous hour. And the seed was sown in that hour. Not only hour, but moment. This tremendous hour was 1:25 a.m. 5th December 1950. When strategically he fixed the supermind in his physical and kind of trapped it here in the physical by leaving the body. In the occult manner, he fixed it in his body and left the body. So it kind of got trapped in the physical. That is the way in which the seed was sown on 5th December 1950. Now, there is a little, what shall we say, kind of difficulty. This happened practically in the midnight, 1:25 a.m. Whereas in the epic, the death of Satyavan occurs at noon. See, so you can't really connect that way also. See. Basically, we can only say that on the physical plane this is what has happened. In the occult plane, it is noon when it happens. When the sun is at its brightest, in the occult sense, when the sun is at its brightest. And it is that noon at 1:25 a.m. on 5th December when this has happened actually in the occult sense. When the blaze of the sun is in the most powerful way, is intensest, so to say. That is the death tremendous hour. And yes, the hour is fixed. how was the seed cast? Strategically, he has left the body by kind of trapping the supermind in the physical. So it can't kind of escape from that. It is there. But at the time of Shivananda's passing away, the mother was standing at his bed for a long time, and constantly all the light which he had in his body that went from him to her. And she says that I felt the friction of the passage of that light. It is passing from him. That is the seed which is cast. And that light in his physical, capable of receiving the supermind, the physical, capable of receiving the supermind, that is what the mother calls as a mind of light. It is the mind of light which was already established in Shivananda's physical body that went from his physical into her. That is the seed. And from that moment onward, her work of physical transformation really began. Her work of physical transformation began from that moment onward, basically. This tremendous words that it is the mind of light which has become instrumental for her to begin the work of the transformation of the cells, body's transformation. And in a short period of a few years, 15 years roughly, the cells started responding, they started opening to the divine power, divine light. And they got transformed also, not all, but quite a number of them got transformed also. They were capable of receiving the supermind directly in the physical, in the mother's physical. And it is there that she built her new body in subtle physical. Mother built a new physical body, body of light, body of flame in subtle physical. That is the seed, a branch of heaven is transplanted already, see. And it is that which is sprouting and growing. The work continues in that sense. So that is what one could say, this tremendous our autobiographical, having direct connection with the yoga siddhi of both Shivananda and the mother. Their realizations, they are embedded in this one particular line already. Now this line, this particular passage was written long before 1950. At least 10 years ago, 10 years earlier. He knew all these things. He saw all those things. Everything was known there. Already you see. Now, there is one more important aspect to this description of the Gayatri Mantra, what we have here, these 24 lines. This is the response from the divine Savitri. I would call her divine Savitri instead of calling her divine mother. It is the divine Savitri who is granting him the boon. Shivananda would not say that here. He calls her divine mother. But basically it is the divine Savitri who is giving to Ashapati this boon. Now the beauty of it is Ashapati has gone to her, approached her with the prayer, and she heard the cry, and she grants him the boon in this manner. This is the boon exactly in response to what Ashapati had asked for. line by line, point by point, she describing and granting him, you want this, you want this, you want this, you want this. Yes, 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 yes. If you see the previous passage, he wanted, yes, you should come down like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. And I said, yes, take part. Yes, done, 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 done. You will come and see. We'll just quickly see that part on the previous page, 90.36. 90.36, 36 on the previous page. O truth defended. Now, first sentence is about her quality. She is the truth. She is voice of the mighty human. She is wisdom splendor. She is creatrix. She is eternal bride. And he tells her, don't stay too long up there. Please come down. Linger not long. Thy transmuting hand pressed vainly on one golden bar of time. Don't just keep one. Then he describes, oh radiant fountain, see the source of everything, of all radiation. Oh radiant fountain, of the world's delight, world free and unattainable above. O bliss, who ever dwells deep hid within, while men seek thee outside and never find. Mystery and muse with heretic tongue, incarnate the white passion of thy foes. That is a specific prayer. You are this. You please incarnate in the white passion of thy foes. He wants her Shakti. It is with that Shakti, white, pure, dazzling, bright. With that thing she should incarnate. Incarnate the white passion of thy foes. Mission to earth, some living form of thee. Because she is so many. One form is enough for the earth. Earth will not be able to bear your full weight. Divine Savitri has many forms. One form is enough for us. We are poor people, small people. One form will do for us to see. One form of thee. And then one moment filled with thy eternity. Let thy infinity in one body live. Again, in one body live. All knowledge wrap one mind in seas of light. Her mind in which all knowledge will be wrapped. All love throb single in one human heart. He is describing, I want this, I want this, I want this, like that. Immortal, treading the earth with mortal feet. You have to come down with mortal feet and walk on the earth with mortal feet. All heaven's beauty crowd in earthly limbs. And she is describing all those aspects of beauty, the way she become. All beauty, all heaven's beauty, crowd in earthly limb, omnipotence, girdled with the power of God. She has to come with that power, strength. Moments and moments of immortal will, packed with eternal might, one human hour, and with one gesture, change all future time. Just wave your hand and the time will change. Let a great word be spoken from the heights. You have to decide, you have to speak out, you have to say, yes, I want that word, yes, speak it out. Let a great word be spoken from the height, and one great act unlock the doors of fate. The doors of it, unlock the doors. The door, fate is keeping the passage closed for the further movement, further evolutionary movement. Unlock the gates of door, fate. And the last sentence also here, fate should be changed by an unchanging will. That is exactly in response to one great act unlock the doors of fate. Fate should be changed by an unchanging will. So she is responding to each of his point, you see, basically, you see. Now, we are talking about this tremendous hour here. There is a significant description about this in the Book of Fate, Book 6, Canto 2. Page, well, the line number, we will go to 108.38. 8.38. Now, here, Narad is answering the Queen Mother's query. Query is a very mild word to say. She is in anguish. She is disturbed. Her daughter has chosen a person who is going to die tomorrow. And no mother will like her daughter to be a widow after marriage. And she tells to her daughter, forget about this boy, find some other place. But then Savitri is fixed in her will, in her determination. She says, I know why I chosen, etc., etc., and she remains firm in the resolve. She is not going to change at all, you see. Yeah. She is not going to change at all, you see. And then this lady is helpless. She is persuading her with all kind of arguments and whatnot. She is not listening to her, and this is the fate of her daughter tomorrow. Her husband is going to die. How can she accept? You see, not only this boy is living in a forest, he has lost his kingdom, he, he has no palace, he has no worldly riches. In addition to that, he is going to die also. So what kind of this choice, she is kind of natural, you see, for her, see, all that. And then, but this girl, she says, no, I have chosen, finished. I'm not going to change at all. I know how to meet fate if it is there, etc., etc. Then she questions Narad. Is this your God who has created this cruel world? What kind of world your God has created? She is questioning Narad, you see. And Narad, of course, comes well prepared to answer this question. He's come all the way from heaven. He knew this will kind of ask, and he's ready to give the answer, you see. He's ready, he's set for that, you see. But next one, is this your God who has created this dark world, the world of death and all kind of ignorance and whatnot? What kind of God is this? This is what the mother says, a foolish question. The mother says, you cannot ask, is this God who has created this world of ignorance? It is a foolish question. So Savitri's mother was asking a foolish question. The right question would be, how has in God's world this has happened? The right question would be, how does it happen in God's world that there is death, there is ignorance, there is suffering, there is misery? How does it happen? That is the right question. You can't say, is this your God who has created death and ignorance and all that? That is the foolish question. So mother would immediately dismiss Savitri's mother stated, you are asking a foolish question, keep quiet, go away. But Narad is patient. He has come prepared to give an answer. He has come here to justify the ways of God to man. Why this happened, etc. And then in response to that, he says that the Savior comes, he takes the burden upon himself. He suffers, he meets misery, he carried the cross, and then it is in that context there is a long description of the crucifixion scene, how Christ is carrying the cross. Long description of the crucifixion scene. Therefore, it is finished. This is a phrase straight from the Bible. It is finished. Means Christ is on the cross. He is gasping for breath. And he wants some water to drink. And then somebody comes with a sort of vinegar into his mouth. And he sucked that vinegar. And he says, it is finished. Whatever was there in that sponge, it is finished. Now that is the physical sense of it is finished on the cross. But it is finished symbolically in terms of the occult content. It meant the work for which he had come here, that is finished. Now I can take leave. I can go away. The work for which I have come, to pay the price, to pay the debt God owes to man, that has been paid. And therefore it is finished. He has paid the price. Therefore it is finished. The dread, mysterious sacrifice offered by God's martyr body for the world. Gethsemane and Calvary are his lot. He carried a cross on which man's soul is nailed. His escort is the curse of the crowd. Insult and jeer are his right's acknowledgement. Two thieves slain with him mock his mighty death. You cannot save yourself and you want to save the world. That is what these two thieves were saying to him on the cross. See. Two thieves slain. There are very beautiful paintings of this, Very beautiful paintings are there. Rembrandt's painting particularly is very beautiful about this one. Two thieves slain with him mock his mighty death. He has trod with bleeding brow the Saviour's way. He is walking the Saviour's way. He who has found his identity with God pays with the body's death his soul's vast life. That is how he is paying the debt with his body's death. Pays with the body's death his soul's vast life. His knowledge immortal triumphs by his death. His knowledge immortal triumphs. He dies, but what remains is his knowledge behind. He goes away physically. Now, there is something significant about these three lines. He who has found his identity with God pays with the body's death his soul's vast light. His knowledge immortal triumphs by his death. These three lines. You see, toward the end of composition of Savitri, so to say, around 15th November 1950, around 15th November 1950, Shevendra had asked Nirodharan to bring out the Savitri drafts which were there in the drawers. Draft pertaining to the Book of Fate. And Book of Fate was the last one which was read out to Shevendra mid-November 1950. Book of Fate, the whole book. In that book, he added three important passages. The last dictation which he gave was around 15th November. And these three lines belong to one of those three passages dictated at that time. These three lines. Around 15th November 1950. These three passages, three lines. There were three passages, and of those three passages, these are three lines. The other passage toward the end of this book, a passage of 72 lines, was dictated at that time, and that passage is 112.43.
112.43.
112.43.
40.
Queen, strive no more to change the secret will. From this line onward till the end of the section, 112.60. You got it? 112, 43.
And the 43.
42. Oh, Queen, strive not.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
143, 112.43. From that point till the end of the section, 112.60. These 72 lines were the absolutely last dictation by Savitri. Absolutely the last dictation. These 72 lines. Therefore, the last line which he had uttered was, "But leave her to her mighty self and fate." That was the last line. The last word which Savitri uttered in Savitri is fate. Fate is the last word he uttered.
Left it to her.
Yeah. So all these things are connected, you see.
Nobody knows this.
Absolutely the last dictation, 112 points. Mighty self and fate. Leave to her. Savitri is there. Leave to her fate, to herself. She will tackle everything. Queen has no place there at all. You stand away from that. Let her do her work. No. In fact, it is for this purpose he had come all the way from his home in paradise.
And just before Queen, there is a little square.
Square, yeah, it is a paragraph.
Ah, it's a paragraph.
It is a paragraph in this section.
Okay.
One square is a paragraph, two squares is a section. So the last line is, "But leave her to her mighty self and fate." Now let's go back to the previous passage, 108.40. He who has found his identity with God pays with the body's death his soul's vast light. His knowledge immortal triumphs by his death. The hour of where death was fixed, a seed shall be sown in death's tremendous hour. This is absolutely autobiographical. A decision was taken already by that time to leave the body. This tremendous hour was already fixed here. And the autobiographical sense is very powerfully present in these three lines here. His decision to withdraw. Now, he who has found his identity with God, there is no question about it. His identity with God, there is no question about that thing. Pays with the body that he has to pay, he has to sacrifice. The old body has to be given up. Old body has to be given up if a new body is required. What is the old body? The old body is made of the entire past of the creation. Unless the entire past is abandoned, the future cannot come. You have to abandon the entire past. So everything which is there in the old body, that entire past has to be in the occult manner abandoned. From that point onward, the new body can begin. That is the Treamendous hour. And this is what has happened here when Savitri withdrew in 1950. This Treamendous hour. Now, see, otherwise I don't see any specific reason why he should have added these three lines in the context of the crucifixion description. He is describing Christ's scene, whole thing, and immediately he inserts these three lines there. And they look so seamless, so natural. If you don't have the background, you will not suspect that these were added later on at all, you see. The description is absolutely seamless, you see, without any joint anywhere, you see. He who has found his identity with God, well, that is what Christ also had. Pays with the body's death, that is what Christ did. He shows vast light. So these two lines are applicable in that sense to both Christ and to Savitri. But this is specifically to Savitri is brought out by the next line. His knowledge immortal triumphs by his death. It is not his love immortal. His knowledge immortal triumphs by his death. It is that which is brought out. It is what that knowledge is that which makes it absolutely autobiographical. Had he said his love immortal triumphs by his death, well, it will go to Christ. You go to Christ. But that one single word fixes up the whole sense. Shivan came with knowledge, with the writing pen. So your Treamendous hour, what we were seeing is here, and yeah. And perhaps we may keep on talking for hours and hours like that, and in a foolish manner we keep on discussing and all that kind of a thing. But what the real occult sense, who knows?
She did something.
Who knows that? Who knows that? In a certain manner we can talk and discuss anything like that, but the real occult sense, we have no idea at all about that thing. What is really happening, what is happening also, we have no idea at all. We are really blind, in that sense. So this is the description about the Gayatri Mantra. 24 syllables, 24 lines, 24,000 lines, and his death, the contents of the syllable, most auspicious form, Varam Rupam. It's a very, very powerful phrase in the whole mantra. The entire thrust is there. The quintessence of Shivandu's yoga is fixed in that single phrase. Varam Rupam, auspicious form. That is what I want. Beautiful body, happy body, lustrous body. This is what happens. And the seed was sown there earlier. And this has happened for the first time in the entire spiritual history. Systematized body on a collective level. In the earlier parts, in the yogic pursuits, in the earlier days, there were attempts to bring down immortality in the physical. There were attempts, not that they were not, there were attempts. Rishi Vamadeva, it is said that he had a golden body for 16 years after 100 years of his life. For 16 years, golden body for 16 years, after 100 years of his life. Golden body, supremacy body. But that is again on an individual level. Golden body for 16 years. Rishi Agastya, he was digging deeper and deeper and deeper into the mortality here. To find out the roots of what is there. And then at one point he took his body like a piece of cloth and hung it in the sun, so that the sunlight was connected into that. Like a piece of cloth he hung it there. But it was there only, nothing could happen more than that. Pythagoras, the Greek mystic, he had a thigh of gold. He had a thigh of gold. The subconscious and lower members of the physical had become supramental. They were supramentalized. Thigh of gold would mean that. But it remained there only. So there were attempts like that, and they had achieved something in the course of spiritual history. But to bring things not only on a personal level, in fact, unless it is done in the person, in the individual himself, it cannot be done in the collective. The entire thrust is the collective. It has to happen in the collective. And in order that that happens in the collective, you create the necessary spiritual base for that first. That is what the avatar does. Avatar creates the base for the entire creation, for the collective to be ready to receive that higher light. He creates the base. And when that base is ready, then only the divine power, the divine Shakti can come and work here on that base. The avatar comes here and creates the base. That is what we have in the work of Ashwapati. Ashwapati Yoga Tapasya is to create a foundation, to lay the foundation for the active dynamism of Savitri. Without that foundation, she cannot work at all. She needs a base, she needs a support, she needs adhara. And then she takes mortal birth, and then she carries out her work from that point onward. So Ashwapati's work is integral work in the context of Savitri's mission work. In other words, you have Ashwapati's Yoga Tapasya to create the spiritual base for the spiritual dynamism to be operative here. And it is the spiritual dynamism of Savitri, then which will remove all the difficulties which come in the supremacy manifestation. That is what she does. Across the path of the divine event, the huge foreboding mind of night, that mind of night has to go away from the scene. That is her work. To remove that mind of night, she comes with a conqueror's sword. You have to go away from that. She comes with a conqueror's sword. And there she exists then. So that is the work of Savitri. Basically, we can say that the work of Ashwapati is to invoke the divine power to come here. And therefore, he has to prepare the ground. The groundwork has got to be done for that. So what does he do? He comes, he does Yoga Tapasya. Yoga Tapasya means what? He goes to every nook and corner of this vast creation. to all the worlds. It travels through worlds. The entire book of the Traveler of the Worlds, book 2, he goes from place to place. Matter, life, mind, higher mind, spiritual mind, over mind. Everywhere he goes and meets and sees everything. He is not going there to all the world like a traveler, taking snapshots of pictures and keeping memory of that. It's not that. When he is traveling to all the world, he discovers what they are there, what they are there for, what is the functional role they have to play in the entire creation. Apart from that, what he exactly does is, wherever he goes in this vast creation, it is in those places, and those places are there everywhere. In those places, he leaves his divine presence behind. Ashapati goes to the mind world, he leaves his presence in the mind world. Ashapati goes to the world of life, he leaves his presence in the world of life. He goes into the night, he leaves his presence in the world of night. He leaves his presence there. And when that avataric presence is present in the entire creation, then it is that presence which becomes the foundational basis for the power to come and function here. The power then, because the base is there now, the presence is there. Without the presence, she cannot work. He has left the presence here, and now she comes and she does her work. She accomplishes one of the important things. First important thing what she does is, she dissolves death. She transforms death. The death which is standing across the path of manifestation, that has to either disappear totally or get transformed into his true divine nature. The true depth which is there, functionally which is important, it is into that he must transform. And when that death is there now, she sees now that death, transformed death, as the Supreme himself. Yes, it is the Supreme who had taken this role of this dark death here for a certain purpose. Now that dark role is over, the bright role should start from that point onward. So it is that death, transformed death, the Supreme himself now, who grants the boon of everlasting day to Savitri. Book 11. And he assures her, yes, there will be life divine upon earth. The assurance given, there will be life divine upon. That is the sankalpa, that is the decision. The way Ashwapati had received the boon of the divine to come here as the incarnate force, Savitri received the boon of the divine manifestation upon earth. That is the greatness of Savitri's work. But that is possible because of Ashwapati's receiving the boon, see, from the divine Savitri. Once that change is there, the divine boon is there, there will be life divine here upon earth. So the real thing which Savitri has done in her yogic work is essentially not the removal of death, not the removal of this difficulty and that difficulty. They are in a certain sense minor achievements. Removal of death in a certain sense is a minor achievement. The real thing which she has achieved, which she has obtained from the divine, from the Supreme, is when she is coming down here, Krishna and Kali follow her. It is that which she has brought down really. It is not just the removal of death. Her work, her avataric work, is to bring down Krishna and Kali into this creation here. That's what we were talking last time, Krishna and Kali here. Krishna the being of bliss, Anandamaya Purusha, the being of bliss. It is He full of love and joy, bliss. It is He who is coming down with us. And Kali is the divine dynamism in this creation. It is not the ignorant nature who is going to struggle here, but it is Kali's dynamism which will work here. Whatever has got to be done will be done in that dynamism of Kali. So Savitri has really received that as one of the most marvelous gifts which has never happened at all, to bring down Krishna and Kali. So that is the kind of a story of Savitri, I say, you see, put in a symbolic manner, in a certain manner, for the purposes of description. But this is the work of Savitri. So that is why I was very keen to have all the references connected with Krishna and Kali. I think we should do that. And whenever you get time,
Yes. Not immediately, but
not immediately.
I'm working on it, and each time I will find.
Yeah.
I will take the reference, and when I have time, I will.
You can compile the whole list, and then we can look into them separately. Yeah. This is important. That is the real, I will say, gift of Savitri. Savitri is the epic. Shivandu Savitri. Krishna and Kali are given series. The rest is all right, okay, in a certain sense. In a certain sense, you see. Yeah.
The way you explain it is so beautiful.
Pardon?
The way you explain it is so beautiful.
Very
Of course.
Now, there is I am going to the original story of Savitri, Vyasa Savitri, what we have got in the Mahabharata story, and there we have got a very important description, and very significant. Savitri has already chosen Satyavan. She returns to the palace and she finds that her parents are in the company of Narad. And Narad is asking, etc., and all that kind of thing. And later on, he is asked, yes, you know everything. Please tell us something about the choice made by Savitri. How is Satyavan? Is he a good fellow? Is he a nice fellow? Is he a learned man? Is he a healthy man? All kind of questions are being asked Narad. Narad, yes, very beautiful, very beautiful, very beautiful. No problem at all about all. But then he is asked by Ashwapati in the story here. All right, you have been telling us about all the good qualities of Satyavan. That's okay. But are there any blemishes also? Are there any problems also with him? Please let us know also about that thing. And then at that point, Narad says, yes, there is one blemish, one problem. That 1 year after marriage, he is going to die. Narad tells that in story here, in the story, Vyasa story, 1 year after marriage, he will die. And he doesn't say exactly 1 year, he is going to die. Not die in that sense, but let me read that passage. Samvatsarena Chanayu Dehanyashyam Karishyati. Samvatsara means 1 year. 1 year after. 1 year after. Chanayu means his life has become weak. Kshana, you. Deha nyasa, he will abandon his body. Karishyati. The exact answer, Satyavan will in 1 year from today abandon his body. His life here expended. His life here is over, he will abandon 1 year after the marriage His what? He abandon. He doesn't say die. Abandon. Now this is important. This is significant. These seeds of the spirituality are very rich in the original story of Savitri in the Mahabharata. They are very rich, very powerful seeds are there in the original. Otherwise, you would not have picked up the story for his sake. You see, all the seeds are present there. Now, Dehanasa Karishade abandon his body. Well, the meaning is very clear. It is the body which is made of the past that has to be discarded. It has to be discarded. It has to be abandoned. Then the new life begins. And with that said, although on the face of it, it looks a very cruel statement on the part of Narad to say that this man will die 1 year after the marriage. It's very cruel. But the way in which he has put, he is going to abandon his body, it means that there has to be a brighter future. And therefore he says, yes, my blessings are there for this choice of Savitri. Savitri had chosen her, and blessings are there for the marriage. And with those blessings, then he goes back to his home. That is what we have got in the original story. Deha nyasa samatsarena China ayur deha nyasa karishyati. After 1 year, his life having expanded here, he will abandon his body and walk away, go away. In other words, the new life will begin. That is exactly what we here also see in a certain sense. You see.